points when the touchdown at Dunmore was a kick return.
Right. Yeah. So realistically, they've given up 7 at that point. It was kind of the reserves in the game as well, Jim. So looking at the defense, and we talk about. We talked about losing some guys on the line last year. It's been kind of a highlight so far this year. But the youth, you have obviously last year's leading tackler who returned. He's number 2 in tackles right now, Maddox Reed, 30 tackles, 2 tackles for loss. But the big name up there, Max Karicki, has 32 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, and he's already got 4 sacks on the year through 3 games. The freshman, Max Karicki.
And you talk about what Karicki's done and the tackles and the sacks especially. And as you look here at the field for the captains, on the Milton side, you have number 4 Peyton Rarick, 56 Locke, 8 Bastion, and 68 Zettelmoyer. But on the Red Tornado side, there's a number out there. Reed is 3, Spears is 11, Schultz is 15. We've seen those guys week in and week out.
Yep.
But welcome back number 44, Ryan Widener.
Yeah, Jim, and you said welcome back. We lost Widener early in the second half of the North Schuylkill game. Went down with an injury. Thankful to see him back here against Milton. And you look at the numbers here. Widener had 2 sacks alone. He's got 2 sacks through the first 3 weeks, and he only played three quarters so far. So he's going to be extra help in that pass rush / run defense that we're going to need to see here against that pretty tough Milton offense. They put up 57 last week at Midwest.
So, and a couple things for those of you out there watching, you may remember if you saw the Dunmore game, a little bit of a challenge for one of our talented players out there in Matt Belichick.
Yeah.
So he'll be wearing the number 99 again tonight as opposed to his number 2. A little challenge with the away jersey. I think they're trying to get that sorted out, but he'll be out there rocking number 99.
Good catch, Jim. Good catch.
Well, the good news is, again, we got that heads up back up at Dunmore, and so now I see 99, and rather than kind of my whole world unravel, like, oh, Belichick, okay, cool.
Right.
Well, we got here, the Panthers will be receiving the opening kickoff here. Number 42, Bobby Shoppy will be kicking off for the Red Tornadoes, as he's done throughout the season. Try to get a look here for the Panthers. Looks like that's going to be number 32, Montgomery Fisher, and I think that's 13, Isaiah Minium, on the far side. Far side from us, that is.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jim.
So see, it should be a great night for football. Again, it's a beautiful campus up here in Milton, all pretty relatively new. But we are underway. 70 degrees at kickoff. Shoppy's kick is going to bounce in front, be taken by Fisher around the 13-yard line. And he's going to be met by Ben Miller right at the 27. And it'll be 1st and 10, Black Panthers from there.
Yeah, that's a great job by the Red Tornadoes getting downfield and covering that. Kind of almost a pooch kick out of Shoppy. But they let it roll to the back line, and I think allowing it to roll to the back line there kind of gave the Red Tornadoes kick coverage team a lot of time to get down there and hold Fisher to a minimal gain.
So to come out 5 wide are the Panthers. Bastion will be in the backfield by himself, and the official going to send off number 77, Noah Shimko, immediately. I'm not sure if that's an equipment issue or what.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to figure that out.
And that 55, Logan Erb, they call him Bumps. He'll come in and sit over in the nose tackle with Widener and Karicki on either side of him. 34, Goodwin in motion. And Bastion's going to keep it himself off the left side, and there's nowhere to go. Right into Bumps and Bailey.
Yeah, really good job there by the Red Tornado defense. Not fretting seeing that 5 wide set. They've seen this on film. And the Black Panthers are going to do this a lot. They like to spread things out, and they run they have a lot of speed in their skill position players, and they'll do a lot of speed sweeps. They're going to go 5 wide again. You're going to see a motion. We might see a handoff and see them try and get outside here.
This time it's Doyle who'll come back, and he'll sit sidecar with Bastion. Doyle, the leading Russian, they'll hand it to him, and he's going to run right into the teeth of that Red Tornado defense. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 5. Looks like Belichick getting up off the bottom.
Yeah, good job again by the Red Tornado defense. It's going to be tough sledding for anybody trying to run up the middle here without at least a lead blocker. That Milton offensive line has some size to it, but that Red Tornado defensive line is tough, Jim.
So he'll stay right behind Bastion. It's sort of a pistol set. They're going to give it to him and nowhere to go. It's going to be hit initially by, it looks like it's going to be Shimko getting up off the bottom. Oh, excuse me, that was Widener getting up off the bottom, so making his presence known right away. It's 4th down, and it looks like the Panthers will punt.
Yeah, and Jim, that Red Tornado defense did a great job. I mean, it looked like there was a little bit of trouble with the snap initially, which kind of slowed down the handoff, but the Red Tornado defense in the middle, never feared on that drive. They were confident in themselves, and no matter how spread out they got, they were prepared for the inside run.
A little movement there. It'll be a false start against the Panthers. Looks like it's going to be number 63, Gary Verdinelli. 6'3", 240-pound senior will handle the punting duties for the Black Panthers.
Yeah, we'll see some of the explosiveness from the Red Tornado return team with Xavier Diaz and number 17. That's Orville Fesniak back deep with Diaz.
Oh, we got a little motion there again on the Panthers. We'll take him back behind the original line of scrimmage. 4th and we'll call it 4th and 13. And it'll put Verdinelli awaiting the snap inside his own 15.
Now, after the 2 penalties, Jim, you think the Red Tornadoes think about bringing some pressure?
Well, I think they were at least showing pressure the whole time, which I think is what was leading to some of the excitement.
Yeah.
But it's a good snap. It's a high punt. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Nice kick by Verdinelli. And it's going to take a nice bounce on that turf. And Fesniak's going to scoop it up. Good coverage by the Panthers.
58, I believe, Jim.
If it's 58, it's Connor Snyder. And he just kind of blended back into the...
Or 56.
I think
it could have been Trey Locke.
Yeah, the aforementioned captain out there. And as we've seen all season so far, Dan, the Red Tornadoes up on the ball, ready to roll.
Yeah, and they're going to do this all game. They're not going to give me a chance to be long-winded like I like to be, Jim.
And I appreciate that about them. Spears is in the gun. He's got Blessing to his left. It's Schultz and Diaz split out to the left. Belichick by himself to the right. And Blessing's going to pick the ball.
Ooh.
They have trouble with the handoff, but it bounces right back up off the turf, and Blessing will only lose about 2.
Yeah, very fortuitous bounce there for the Red Tornadoes. You're right. It looked like Blessing was bouncing a basketball out there, but dribbled it right back up to himself for a minimal gain.
Coach Darris said, okay, we're going to tighten this up now. So this is the shotgun double wing. For those of you that have been with us the last few seasons, it'll still be Blessing off the right side. He makes a few tacklers miss. He'll get out across the 35 to around the 37. So it'll bring up about a 3rd and 7.
Yeah, that looked like 63. Jim Verdinelli, I believe, making the tackle there from a defensive end spot. Blessing tried to get outside, and he did a good job not allowing him to do that.
Schultz and Diaz stacked wide left. Ball on the right hash. It's going to be Blessing again. And it's a nice play made by the Panthers. It looks like 66, Darren Bentley is the first one on site. And now the Red Tornadoes are going to have to punt it away as quick as they got it. Yeah,
and you talked about the speed of the Red Tornado offense, them being up on the ball, ready to go most of the time, just as quickly in the punt formation here, kicking the ball back to the Black Panthers.
Number 9, Max Karicki's punting, though we didn't see him punt at all last week. On the season, he's got about a 37.5-yard average. A nice kick. It should get a good, nice, friendly bounce. As it does, it's going to be stopped dead at the 31. So a good job of flipping the field there by Karicki.
Yeah, very nice job there by Karicki. Getting that punt out there. Not too much pressure. He had some time to get a good kickoff. But you're right, Jim. Maybe a little bit rusty, but he still got a good kick away.
So we'll see now. And the Panthers, they can score some points. They put up 57 last week versus Midwest. And Bastion himself actually had quite a game last season at the Silver Bowl. He had 92 yards passing and 168 and a touchdown on the ground. So certainly an explosive athlete that the Red Tornadoes need to account for.
Yeah, he's dual threat all the way.
And he takes the snap, and this one he's going to hand off again, but there's nothing there on those read options. That one's Kricky all the way. It'll drop him for a loss of 2.
Yeah, Jim, they look like a read option you'll see in college and in the NFL, but I wonder if that's a designed, like, you're going to give on this one and you're going to keep on this one, because there was a lot of space to the outside here if Bastion pulled that out and hung on to it. So I think that might be designed, like, you're just going to hand it off.
2nd and 11 now for the Panthers. Rearick split out to the left. Montgomery Fisher to the right. And Bastion's going to throw for the first time tonight, and he's looking for Fisher in one-on-one coverage with Lukoski. It's a good ball and just out of Fisher's reach. Good coverage by Lukoski all the way. It's going to be 3rd and 11.
Yeah, Lukoski did a great job. I mean, he was in Fisher's pocket the whole way, but it did appear that Bastion put the ball in the right spot. Fisher had a slight step, but just a hair too long. We kind of heard the crowd, the wind went out of them here on this Milton sideline, but all for naught. It's going to be a 3rd and long for the Black Panthers.
I think the opposite sideline of us wearing all red, they were holding their breath as that ball hung up in the air as well.
I think you're right, Jim.
Now we're going to get another illegal motion penalty here against the Panthers, so it's going to make that 3rd and long a little bit longer. It'll be 3rd and 16 with 7:08 left here in the first quarter of a scoreless one.
Yeah, Jim, we talked about that defense in front of the Red Tornadoes. I'm wondering if all the pressure that they're applying up front and how quickly they're coming off the ball, if that's kind of affecting the offensive front of the Black Panthers. Between
Widener and Kricky, they put it together some impressive film so far this season of what they're capable of from a pass rush standpoint.
Averaging two sacks a game between the two of them.
They'll go for the hard count. Nobody bites, and they hand it off, and that's Doyle. Now Doyle's got some room on the left side. They'll have a first down. We pushed that out of bounds by Kimsel, but a nice play call by the Black Panthers to pick up the first down on 3rd and long.
Jim, that's the danger of bringing all the pressure. Once Doyle broke that initial line of defenders there for the Red Tornadoes, he had a lot of running room there to start with. So Red Tornadoes showed pressure. They brought pressure, but Doyle was able to sneak through and convert the 3rd and long.
Doyle not a stranger to the end zone either. 3 touchdowns last week, 5 on the season. It'll be 1st and 10 from about the 43. Bastion to throw again. He rolls to his right. He's under pressure. Blessing does a good job of getting his hand in the way, and the ball sails high, incomplete. That's a great job by Blessing, staying under control, knowing what he has to do as a pass rusher there. Blessing playing at a defensive or a linebacker spot, an inside linebacker. Not a defensive lineman who's practicing those get your hand up drills, anything like that. And he got his hand up and was able to get his arm on Bastion's throwing arm and alter that throw. Really good job defensively. Rearick and Fisher, twins to the right. Bastion has Doyle in the backfield, and he's going to hand it to him off the left side. Nowhere to go. Hit Kricky. Let's see who gets up off the bottom of that pile. I think that's going to be Widener in there as well. It might have been first on scene. Yeah, I saw Kricky and Widener. You're going to see those guys. Anytime the Black Panthers run the ball up the middle, you're going to see Kricky and Widener, along with Shimko, usually being the first guys coming off the bottom of that pile. And it's 3rd and 8. It's also worth mentioning, Dan, you mentioned about Shimko. Shimko, it's a thankless job in there as that nose tackle, right? Yeah. Kricky and Widener are going to make the tackles crashing in, but it's because Shimko's kind of clogging up all those lanes and funneling the ball carrier that way. Yeah, he's holding up that interior offensive line, opening things up for the linebackers and D tackles. Now Bastion's going to roll to his right. He's looking, and he's got Fisher down the middle of the field. Can he get it to him? He's wide open, and it's going to be the Panthers strike first from 55 yards out. Bastion to Fisher, and it's 6-0. Wow, Jim, wow. And it looked like there was some confusion. You mentioned there was confusion in the defensive backfield there for the Red Tornadoes. And, I mean, Bastion had that ball out in the air, and Fisher almost hidden in the defensive backfield there. There was nobody around him. Well, he just had to, and that's the hardest one to catch as a receiver. There's nobody between you and the end zone, but he did a good job of focusing, slowing everything down, reeling it in for a touchdown. Now this gives us our first opportunity tonight to talk about Milton's place kicker. It's a good snap, it's a good hold, and a kick is blocked. And so that's going to be the first missed kick of the season from number 27, Mackenzie Lopez, who made history a few weeks ago as the first female to score a point in a Milton football game.
Wow, yeah.
Mackenzie is no run-of-the-mill kicker either. She is a state medalist in javelin, as well as she's got 61 career goals on the soccer field.
That's
soccer pitch, excuse me.
Pretty impressive, Jim. And as you mentioned, she was 10 of 10 to this point of the season. The Red Tornadoes did a really good job. They were able to get penetration straight up the middle on that PAT and get a hand in there and block that one.
And so we talked about it a little bit. You know, she had 7 of those kicks last week in Midwest.
Yeah.
First Midwest. And speaking of Midwest, you know what the gate to the west, the western part of the country is St. Louis.
St. Louis,
right?
Yeah.
That's the gate to the west. And I think we've got some pretty important folks out in St. Louis.
Absolutely,
this week, right?
yeah.
I think we got word from Mr. Dave Clayman. There's 12 folks from MCA out in St. Louis for the weekend. I think they're checking out the Phillies and the Cardinals. So we just want to say hello, fellas. We're happy you're watching. I think some of you played, some of you have kids that played. You're all kind of part of this. I think there's a cheerleader with you. So we appreciate everybody being out there and listening from wherever you are. It's always great to have you. We appreciate the support, wherever it may be, right? Coast to coast, sea to shining sea, all those fun things here. And we'll keep coming to you live from Milton, courtesy of WKMC TV and tonight's sponsor, Salon 42.
You see the Red Tornadoes return team for the first time tonight.
Ethan Rhodes, low knuckler. It's going to be taken on a hop by Kimslet around the 7. He's going to get up in the alley. He's got a little bit of space, a nice return over the 30. We'll see where they mark him out of bounds. It'll be the 33, so 5:54 remaining in the first quarter. The Red Tornadoes trail 6-0, but at 1st and 10 with a chance to respond.
Yeah, and Jim, I like to get on my talk about the way guys run the ball. You know, you like seeing the way the old fullbacks run, 2 hands on the ball, covering it up. Kimsel doesn't really fit the description of an old fullback, but did a great job here. He took that initial contact, both hands on the ball, and then he just lumbered forward for some extra yards after breaking a couple tackles. You love to see it.
And that one will be blown dead before it starts, as now it'll be a false start on the Red Tornadoes. First and 10 will become a 1st and 15. The ball will be moved back to the 28.
Yeah, Jim, we see the Red Tornadoes here. The offense quickly on and off the field last drive. They want to put something together here to start this second offensive set.
2 to the right, 1 to the left. For Spears, he's got Blessing behind us. Bailey's kind of in that slot, and he's going to throw it quickly out to Schultz. It's a good completion, but a nice tackle made by 32 Fisher, who's having himself a heck of a 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, that was held the Red Tornadoes to a very minimal gain. Only got 4 out of that, so still going to be a second and long for the Red Tornadoes.
Spears is going to float it out there, looking for for Diaz. But again, the Panthers saw that coming the whole way. That time it looks like it was 29, Lucas Diddy, who was about a step away from probably picking that ball off, but nevertheless dropped Diaz for a big loss, and now it's going to be 3rd and 15.
Yeah, he did a great job getting through, fighting through the blocker, setting the screen there, and making a huge play for a big loss there. And now the Red Tornadoes slowing down a little bit here. Got to talk about it for this 3rd and long play.
And as we've seen throughout the season, when the Red Tornadoes want to open it up this much, Bailey heads to the sideline. Fesniak comes in as another receiver. So Blessing's got 4. Spears has 4. And he tried to get it out quick to Belichick, but it's incomplete. Was going to be well short of the first down in any event, and the Red Tornadoes are going to be punting away for the 2nd time tonight in as many drives.
Yeah, and again, we talked about the effectiveness of this Red Tornado offense. I think, it's very, very early in this game. You can't start to press. You need to just stick with what works. I mean, running, Blessing, and countering it with Spears putting the ball in the air, I think is going to be the recipe for the Red Tornadoes.
Cricky's kick there, a nice high kick, a good kick, but unfortunately that time took a bad bounce, so Kimsel was there to grab it before it got any worse. From a hop standpoint, it'll be 1st and 10, Black Panthers from midfield. And Dan, you talk about not panicking. And I can't help but think back to last season. Again, let's not. This was no cakewalk game for the Red Tornadoes. They emerged victorious, but did trail 13-12 at the half.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this team is not it's not a first quarter team, second quarter team. This is a complete game team. This Red Tornadoes. So no need to fret down a score here early on. Just offense leaning on the defense here to get a stop.
Panthers have a stack, and they're going to hand it to Doyle. And nowhere to go. Bailey will hit him first. Kimsel's in there as well as Belichick. So a gain of maybe a yard.
Yeah, really good job there by Bailey. Being the first man on scene, getting through. Did a great job.
We'll see. .4:15 and counting here. 6-0 Panthers. 2nd and 9. It's Bastion. He hands it to Doyle again. The ball is on the ground. I believe the Red Tornadoes have recovered.
Yes.
And they have. So trouble there with the handoff. And number 1, Chase Belichick is Johnny on the spot. And the Red Tornadoes have 1st and 10 with their best field position of the night.
And that's huge for the Red Tornadoes there, Jim. I mean, just, we talked about how the Red Tornadoes are going to lean, the offense kind of leaning on the defense there to make a play. And 2 plays into the drive, they get their opportunity and capitalize on it.
This time it'll be Diaz. Diaz will get up the middle, get some positive gain. It looks like into, not just barely into Panther territory. We'll say the ball is just on that side of the 50.
Yeah, and just like that, we're going to open things back up here.
And there's going to be a flag on the Red Tornadoes. Their speed there is what did them in. So Spears will take that shot, pick up no gain, but the play was over before it started as the guys split out to our side, weren't quite set yet.
And Spears a little slow to get up from that one. I think they're going to, Marshallik's coming into the game.
And we've seen so far this season, when Spears has had issues with his helmet coming off or just needed a breather, Coach Dara changes the offense absolutely zero.
Yeah.
Right? There's 0 changes to the offense when Marshallik comes in here. So you expect to see the same as they check on Spears, and hopefully we see him back out there in short order.
Yeah, and as you said, Jim, it's unfortunate there because of the illegal motion penalty on the Red Tornadoes. Spears took that hit pretty much, just getting back to the line of scrimmage, which is going to end up, they're going to be walking off 5 yards anyways for a penalty here.
Yeah, the Panthers, though, declined the penalty.
Oh, so they want the 3rd down.
As opposed to giving up the yards. So it'll be 3rd and about 6 here from midfield. Marshallik's going to roll to his left. He's got time, and he floats it out, and he's got Schultz. And he's got the 1st down yardage. So just like that, the Red Tornadoes pick up their initial 1st down of the night. Keep the sticks moving.
That's a good job there by the Red Tornadoes. And Jim, at least in my head, the Black Panthers are declining that penalty because they see the 2nd string, not the starting quarterback, out there.
And there, Marshallik takes it and gives it to Blessing, and there's a little trouble there with the handoff, but fortunately, the Red Tornadoes are able to keep the ball, and Blessing falls forward for a gain of about a yard.
Yeah, we'll see the Red Tornadoes switching field here. They're going to tighten things back up again.
You'll see Schultz and Belichick going into those tight end slots. Cricky in there is the fullback off the right side with Diaz and Blessing to Marshallik's left. Diaz comes in motion. They'll give it to him. And he's going to get up in that alley, but a nice play made by the Panthers. That looks like number 33, Dominic Lytle, getting up off the bottom, as well as 14, Hayden Patterson, and I think I saw 34, Luke Goodwin in there as well.
Yeah, Jim, I think you're right. And it looked like Lytle was the first one there. He he was in the lane that Diaz wanted to cut up in, and he shut that play down immediately.
So now it's 3rd and 9. Marshallik will have to throw. He rolls out to his right. He's looking for Belichick, and he has him open. Belichick will get the 1st down. So ball on target and on time from Marshallik. Keeps the drive alive.
And Jim, really the only difference that we see in the game, I know there's really no difference. They're gonna run and pass the same amount. It seems like they like to get Marshallik moving outside of the pocket a little bit more than Spears. They like to have him set up.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dan. That's absolutely what it is. And it'll be handoff to Blessing there, and he'll take a shot From the Panthers, it looks like, I think there was 58, Connor Snyder on the tackle, but not before Blessing falls forward across the 25 for a gain of 3. Marshall will give it to Blessing again. And Blessing will again pick up 3 or 4 yards. And Dan, we've seen this over the first couple weeks.
I was just about to say, Jim, we've talked about this. Blessing's the body blows guy. He's going to soften you up as we have a Black Panther down. So we'll actually get a second to talk about it here while he's tended to on the field. But Blessing, being the body blows guy, he's going to run it up the middle. He's going to soften that defense up. He's going to pull those safeties up closer to the line of scrimmage. So that way, when whoever it is, Spears, Marshalik, whoever's in at quarterback, decides to go with a play action, everyone's biting. The safeties are biting, the linebackers are biting, and then we're able to hit that play over the top. This is how Coach Dara has kind of integrated this passing game into this offense.
That was number 58, Connor Snyder, on the ground. That was down for the Black Panthers, but he popped up not long after they stopped play and made his way to the sideline under his own power. So hopefully he gets a quick look and is able to get back in there. On the field, though, it's 3rd down, and it's going to be Blessing off the right side, and he's going to pick his way. He's going to get a good push for the first down. So a good group effort there by the Red Tornadoes. He'll be down to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, Jim, you talk about the group effort. I think that was pretty much the offensive line. Jagger Delaney, Seth Spears, Logan Erb, Maddox Lamas, and Noah Shimko doing a great job getting that push up front.
Now here's that T formation you like so much, Dan, and they turn around and they hand it to Bailey. Bailey will get down to about the 12, maybe give him 3 yards.
Yeah, and again, that's more of change of pace play for the Red Tornadoes there. Blessing has the power and kind of the cut speed. Bailey's just the straight ahead runner. Give it to him, get 3-4 yards.
Marshall is going to hand it to Diaz, and they have trouble with the handoff again, but fortunately Diaz can fall on it. Man, that's been plaguing both offenses so far tonight. Yeah,
you're right, and you wonder what the cause. It's a little bit cooler tonight than it's been throughout the season. And it can come down to anything. A newer football, there's so many different variables that go into getting a good grip on the ball.
So now it's third and 10 from the 15. Marshall takes a look at the defense. Now he looks back to his sideline and gets a second call here. Blessing will move to his other side. Now he's going to throw. He rolls to his left. He wants Diaz, and he has him in the flat, but it's a great play by Fisher. And Fisher is shutting down that side of the field tonight, and that should be the last play of the first quarter, unless the Red Tornadoes have a quick one and they want to jump up and...
No, I think for 4th down here, I think Coach Darrow wants to take this to the quarter, have a little bit extra time to discuss. After having your most successful offensive drive, you don't want to rush up there and have something go haywire.
And there it is. That's the end of the first quarter. 6-0 Black Panthers. And again, this is WKMC TV broadcast tonight. We're up here in Milton. Tonight's sponsor, we want to thank Salon 42 for their support and their continued patronage, as well as all of you out there for listening. One thing you can always do if you want to support the TV studio or any other organization here at the Mount Carmel Area School District is you can check in with the Education Association. The Education Association supports the district. It gives you an opportunity, I should say, to support the district through gifts, trusts, and requests. You can help us maintain a meaningful and effective learning culture here at Mount Carmel by providing opportunities in academics, arts, and athletics. Again, you can make those donations, those requests, those trusts to specific areas, to the football team, to the cheerleader, the band, to the TV studio, to the cross-country team, for instance. You can do all those things, whether for yourself or in honor and memorial of a loved one. If you want to do that, head out to www.mca.k12.pa.us, or you can call 570-339-1500 for more information. So here we go. Second quarter about to start. 4th and 8. The ball at about the 14-yard line. Marshall to throw. He's got a good, clean pocket. He steps up, and he's going to run, and he's got nowhere to go. A great job by the Panthers converging. It looked like, is that 84?
I think 34, Jim.
34, excuse me. So that's Goodwin. was Goodwin in there on the stop, and there was another jersey number in there as well. But a great play by the Black Panthers to turn the Red Tornadoes away.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a huge stop here. Still early in this game, Jim, but just a big momentum shift there. That was the, as I mentioned before the first quarter ended, that was the most successful Red Tornado drive up to this point. And the Black Panthers being able to turn them away with 0 points is huge.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Panthers from their own 12. That's going to be Doyle off the right side, and he's going to power forward across the 15. He's got a good push there. Looks like around the 17-yard line, give him 4.
Yeah, it was a nice job there by Doyle. We mentioned it was going to be tough sledding up the middle there, but he kind of worked his way through and turned that into a pretty serviceable gain there.
I got a bad case of the angles up here, Dan. It's actually the 18, give him 5. 11:20 left in the first half. The Panthers lead 6-0, courtesy of a 55-yard touchdown pass. And it's Doyle again, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield. Nice play made by number 9, the Red Tornadoes' leading tackler coming into tonight, Max Karicki. Yeah,
that was a great job there by Karicki. Just knifing through the offensive line there and making that play in the backfield.
So now it's 3rd and 5. The Red Tornadoes, as Dan said, having come off kind of their most successful offensive drive of the night, would love to get a stop here and get the ball back in the hands of Marshalik and company. Fisher comes in motion. They're going to hand it to him. He's going to try to get the edge. A good job by Reed, turning them back inside, and the rest of the Red Tornadoes will clean it up. It's going to be maybe a yard to gain, but it'll be 4th and 4.
Yeah, really good job there by the Red Tornado defense. Just toughening up when they had to, as we'll see the Black Panthers punt team heading out onto the field here. Now we'll see another opportunity here for Diaz and Kimsel to maybe put together a return. We saw a really, really nice punt out of Verdinelli the first time around. So the Red Tornadoes will be looking to capitalize on all that hang time. They're going to need to block pretty hard up front.
Now the Black Panthers and Coach Zettelmoyer will take a timeout. They're first of the half here. Saw something he didn't like, so we'll have to see where they go from there. And really, based on where the ball was spotted and where the first down mark was kind of in between the hashes, it's kind of thinking it was closer to 4th and 4, but it's really closer to 4th and 3.
Yeah, I think that looks...
Maybe even a short 3. So, again, if you're the Red Tornadoes, you just want to head on a swivel here, right?
Yeah, you want to hold tight up front. You don't want to be dropping back too early to set up a return. You want to make sure that punt's away before you start setting anything up.
And Belichick calling the defense a little bit. And it's a low snap. It gets by Verdinelli, so now it's a fire. He's going to try to get this off, and he does a nice job, and the Red Tornadoes do a nice job of not running into him. But my goodness, Verdinelli did everything he could with that one. It's going to be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes at the Black Panther 28-yard line.
And now, Jim, that's the second mistake to this point by the Black Panther offense. You say that was the punt team that time. The Red Tornadoes were not able to capitalize on the fumble recovery first time around. They really need to capitalize on this great field position that they're starting after the sort of off the side of the foot punt there due to the bad snap there to Verdinelli.
And now it's Diaz, and Diaz is in space. Goodwin gets him from behind her. I think Diaz had the corner. It'll be 1st down, Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, and just, I mean, that's how quickly things can change here for the Red Tornadoes. I mean, Diaz just so explosive from that wing spot.
1st and 10, ball about the 16-yard line. And this time Spears is back in there, and he keeps it himself. And he'll fall forward across the 15 to the 14.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jim, something we didn't notice on the first play of the drive was that Spears was back in at the helm.
Well, I'll be real honest with you. Number 56, Trey Locke, came in off the sideline prior to the first down play. and he did a slide cancel like you see in Fortnite or Call of Duty, and that kind of had my attention for a second.
Yeah, I agree.
Hits Diaz again, and he's up. Ooh, he puts the shoulder down and picks up a couple extra yards there, close to a first down. It'll be 3rd and short.
We always like to see that from Diaz. You know, we don't get to see that a lot. He's usually the burner. He's usually running away from guys, but when he gets into the middle there, he can put that shoulder down. He runs tough.
Now it's Blessing, and Blessing will have the first down, and not much more. So again, Panthers making the Red Tornadoes earn every inch out there tonight.
Yeah.
It'll be 1st and goal from just inside the 5. And they'll come back to this shotgun double wing. And it's Blessing off the right side, and he's in, and we're knotted at 6 here after a Blessing, his 6th touchdown rush of the season from 4 yards out, excuse me, at the 8:25 mark of the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, that's a great job, Jim, by the Red Tornadoes, just capitalizing on the great field position that they got after the Black Panther punt team had a little bit of trouble. So now we'll see if Shoppy can give the Red Tornadoes a lead.
Adams on the hold. It's a good snap. It's a good hold. The kick is up, and the kick is good. It is good. I thought it got a little bit left there, but it stayed inside the upright. So the Red Tornadoes will take their first lead of the night, 7-6.
Yeah, Jim, I know we like to always get the battery. I believe Shimko is the long snapper. I just want to, I wasn't 100% sure, but I got a pretty good look at it there. I'm pretty sure that's Shimko doing the long snapping. So Shimko with a great snap, Adams with a great hold, and Shoppy with a great kick to give the Red Tornadoes, again, as you mentioned, their first lead of the night.
Another thing we've talked about tonight is how nice the facility is here at Milton. Really enjoy everything going on here. They've done a phenomenal job, and we're doing some phenomenal things down at the Silver Bowl as well. And you know what I'm talking about, the Brick Project. Remember, the Red Tornado Legacy Brick Project in the south end zone where the creature bleachers used to be. It's a 6-foot water jet Red Tornado, and you get it surrounded by the 4x8-inch bricks or the 12x12-inch blocks. If you want to, you can get those engraved. Go Big Red, your family's name, in memorial, whatever you want to do, it's kind of your choice there. But here's the thing, if you want to do that, we're running out of spaces around the Red Tornado. That's how much interest there is. There's a couple of those blocks left, but otherwise you're going to be in the expansion. So you want to get out there, get your order in by October 1st. How do you get your order in? Go to redtornadofootball.com, scroll down past the pictures of me and Dan. On the right side of the page, there'll be a link. Click the link, fill out the form, and again, for goodness sake, do so before October 1st. Shoppy's kick bounces in front of Fisher. And now he's got a crease, but he is stuck by Karicki. Oh, my goodness. 1st and 10 at the 31.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. Karicki in there kind of laying the lumber. Got to give credit to number 30, Morgani was in there as well. And there was one more, and I apologize, I missed the jersey number. But great job there by the Red Tornado coverage team, because it did look like Fisher kind of found the crease there, but he went up to get up in that briar patch I like to talk about, running through the thorns, but he got stuck.
Bastion brings Fisher in motion. And he's going to keep it himself and nowhere to go. Good job there. Karicki crashed first. Looks like Lukoski in there, and Kimzel, and Reed, and Widener. And
just a host of Red Tornadoes in there.
I think unless you were a defensive back out in coverage, you were involved in that tackle, it looked like.
Yeah, I think you're right.
2nd and 9. Bastion comes to the line. They'll stay in that shotgun. Rarick to the right, Fisher to the left, and it's Doyle in the backfield with him. It's a double tight set for the Panthers. And it's play action. Belichick did not see, or excuse me, was not fooled by at all. And there'll be the question here of whether or not he was out of the pocket, because if he wasn't, it's going to be intentional grounding.
Yeah, there's going to be, yeah, and there's the flag thrown.
It is. So Bastion tried to get rid of that, but wasn't quite out of the pocket yet. The ball didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, and there were no orange jerseys in sight.
And if I'm correct, That's going to be a spot foul, loss of down. So it
Right.
works. It works just like a sack,
Yep.
essentially. So, I mean, that's going to be a huge, huge loss there for the Black Panthers. And great job by Belichick coming off that defensive end spot.
And that's tough because I understand where Coach Zettelmuller's coming from, right? Because that's such a – my goodness, they just keep walking all the way back down to the 10s. This is going to be a 3rd and 31. But they just – you call that play, and you want the play action, and you want to roll out the opposite way.
Yeah.
The problem there is to do that, Bastian kind of has to have his back to that rush. So he turns around, and Belichick's right in his face, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
So now we'll see what the Black Panthers dial up on 3rd and 31. They'll get a double shift here, and the Red Tornadoes defense bounces with it. And is going to hand it off to Doyle, and nowhere to go. Kricky wrapped him up in a bear hug and took him to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you do in that situation? You know, that long of yardage there. You're just trying to get something positive here, get a little bit of room for your punt team. Essentially, that's the only thing you can do at that point.
Now, here, answer me this, Dan. If you're Coach Dara, after seeing some of the struggles, seeing the struggles on the snap for the Panthers the last couple punts, and also seeing what Verdinelli can do when he gets one off, are you going after this punt?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm having the defense pin their ears back. Everybody that's not out in coverage essentially should be going after this kick.
And the Black Panthers are going to take another timeout here. Again, want to make sure they have all their ducks in a row, so to speak.
And you see Coach Dara heading out there along with Coach Gilger, the special teams coach. So you never know. We might see him setting up with this timeout. Might give the Red Tornadoes a little bit extra time to kind of set up something to go after this one.
It is interesting, though, right? Because a lot of times if you want to go after that punt, the worry is, oh, no, is there a fake setup? Which at 4th and 6, 4th and 7, maybe. 4th and 30, I think if you're the Red Tornadoes, you can feel a little more confident. And look, Dan, here, now only Fesniak is back deep. Oh, never mind, there's Diaz.
There's Diaz, yeah.
A little late getting back to the party.
Maybe not a full-on, punt block, but we might see some twists going on in the inside here, putting some pressure on it.
Not much of a rush at all. It was another low snap Verdinelli had trouble with. But he gets off a great punt. Just a fantastic punt by that young man in the situation from his own end zone. And the ball will go from the 10 of the Panthers to the Red Tornado 41. So again, almost a 40-yard punt there. Nice job by Verdinelli.
Yeah, great job. Great job. Keeping that punt that snap from getting past him, because I mean, when you're in the end zone, there's not much room for it to go behind you, and you're giving up 2 points at that point. So he kept it in front of him and was able to pick it up quickly with no pressure and get a great kickoff.
Again, Spears back out there as he was last drive, and this time it's Blessing. And nowhere to go, really. Does a nice job of bouncing to the other side, and he'll get, say, give him 6.
Yeah, great patience there by Blessing. Just, went one way where the play was designed to go, didn't see anything there, had patience, worked his way back to the other side, and turned it into a pretty nice gain.
The halfway mark of the second quarter, the Red Tornadoes lead 7-6. Spears is going to throw it. He's got Bailey wide open in the middle of the field, falls incomplete. They snuck Bailey out down the seam. They couldn't connect, so it'll be 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and that was just like a quick tight end pop. You don't see those as much nowadays. That used to be like an old school, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. That was the throw that teams like that would kind of mix in there. But unfortunately, they weren't able to connect.
Now they'll go back to Blessing. And he's going to be short of the first down by about a yard. A good job there of gang tackling by the Panthers, as it looks like that was Lytle and Verdinelli on the stop.
Yeah, and Coach Dara's going offense on the field, tightening things up. He wants this first down.
See if they go hard count. Nope, right at it for Blessing. And I think he's going to have just maybe enough.
I don't know, Jim.
Oh, I see the far
that spot
official, right.
is short. That's going to be Black Panther football, Jim. I don't want to jump the gun here, but.
Wait for an official signal here. They're going to measure.
Maybe not. They're just going to look, eyeball it.
He's just looking right down the line. That's pretty terrific. A little bit of a discussion here. So they're going to bring him out.
They are going to have a measure. Normally, we don't see this a lot anymore in high school.
I was thinking the same.
And I think maybe it's a pace of play thing, just trying to keep everything moving, but we get to see a measurement.
I can tell you right now, we've got these passionate Milton fans in front of us, and if it's short, they're going to erupt. And I'll let their noise speak for itself. It's going to be 1st and 10 Panthers as they turn away the Red Tornadoes.
And I mean, what a huge stop there for the Black Panther defense. After, the Red Tornadoes kind of been taking them to task, running the ball up the middle at least, putting together a couple nice drives. Now the Black Panther offense is back out on the field. Just under 5.5 to go here in the half. Looking to take the lead back.
I have to say, though, I am surprised the Red Tornadoes didn't employ the hard count there. That's something they typically do in that situation. But Bastian's going to throw, and he's looking for Fisher again, hand fighting all the way down.
That's a great job.
The official, who is about as far away from the play as you could be, is going to throw a flag on that one.
Wow, the official who was right on the play there saw the hand battling back and forth between both players and was going to allow it. But you're right, Jim. There's a flag from way downtown.
Well, and I think it's going to be and that's a true pass interference call. They're not going to call it defensive holding.
Yeah.
Which I think for the Red Tornadoes, it's moot at this point because it's going to be what it's going to be. But interestingly enough on that one, if you go back and watch that at home, take a look at Belichick coming off the far edge, because he had a pretty good run at the quarterback and didn't quite get there.
Yeah.
So it's a 10-yard penalty. But the reason I say it doesn't matter because it's 10 yards, but as we talked about last week, I think, doesn't come with an automatic first down like a defensive holding would.
Right.
But now it'll stay 4 wide for the Black Panthers. Bastian has him in stacks to both sides, and he whips it out to Rarick, incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, wow, he got that thing out quick, Jim. That was a laser.
Man. He can throw it.
He definitely can. He's got an arm on him. And, I mean, we've seen evidence on it on the 2 deep balls that he's thrown so far, the 3 actually that he's thrown so far. They've been accurate, and they've had some nice movement on him.
They list Bastian at 6'1", 200 pounds, and when you look at him out there, he's a solid kid.
Absolutely, yeah. He looks like a quarterback out there.
He does, yeah. Yep. Now it'll be a handoff to Doyle off the left side, and he's got a little bit of space. Good job there by the Panthers opening up that alley, and they've got some momentum now. The ball will be going to be just short of the first down, actually, gaining 9, so it'll be down at about the 27.
Yeah, and sometimes, Jim, all it takes is 1 or 2 passes just to loosen things up just enough for Doyle to find a crease. So good job by the Black Panthers, kind of mixing up their plays there, putting the ball in the air early, opening up those running lanes.
Got to think it's 4 down territory here for the Panthers, so you wonder if they'll take a shot on 3rd and short.
Worth a try.
Bastian's going to roll out to his right, and he flips it out to Rarick. It's high, who does a good job bringing it down, but he can't keep his feet. So the completion is actually going to cost them a yard, and it's going to be 4th and 2 now. Actually, it'll cost them 2 yards. It'll be 4th and 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great catch by Rarick, but unfortunately, because, obviously in high school you don't have to be touched down, he lost his footing, and it ended up costing him. Would have been better off not pulling that one in.
Yeah, those are always tricky ones, right? It's the same thing defensively where catching an interception on 4th and long, 30 yards down the field, right?
Yeah.
Theoretically, you just knock it down and don't catch it, but my goodness, a ball's thrown at you, you catch it.
Right.
That's how it works. So on 4th down, they give it to, and he's got a first down. That's Doyle again. He's going to employ the stiff arm. He's got the corner, and he's going to dive for the pylon, just short. So he's going to step out of bounds at about the 2-yard line, but what a big run on 4th and 4 to get down inside the 5.
Yeah, and don't worry about the 4 yards he needed to get the 4th down. The Red Tornadoes had to do everything they could to keep Doyle out of the end zone. So really good job, I mean, by the Black Panthers setting that one up. He had a lane it looked like you could have drove a truck through, and he got to the sideline. But good job by, I believe it was Kimsel, or was it Lukoski that pushed him out of bounds? I think it was Lukoski.
And this is going to be Bastian, and he's going to be stopped short, drug back, and man, Kricky's a strong kid.
Very strong.
My goodness, he had Bastian around the waist and almost suplexed him backwards.
Yeah. I mean, I think, thank you for the whistle there. Bastian should be thanking the referee for the whistle, because I think he was gonna sling him backwards if he had to.
Cricky's, not overwhelming from the size standpoint, right? They list him at 6'1", 205. Now, he's a freshman.
Right.
Right, but we talk about the strength. He's part of the 1,300 club here at the at Mount Carmel, and that's the combination of the bench, squat, and deadlift, right?
Yes, sir. So, all the power lifts.
Right, yeah. Now Bastian's going to keep it himself, and he's going to get to the goal line. Whether or not he falls forward. And it's a touchdown. So from 2 yards out now, there's a Red Tornado down, and I think that's Widener.
Yeah, I believe so, Jim.
But that touchdown there has shades of the tush push that you see the Eagles employ all the time, where it's kind of, once you finally get there, you just get as many folks as you can and get that momentum across the goal line. Any event, it's 12-7 right now, Panthers, as we pause for the injury on the field.
Yeah, Jim, again, we talk about how quickly, just momentum can change. That fourth down stop kind of took all the momentum from the visiting sideline here and brought it back to the Milton Black Panthers. They get the pass interference penalty on first down, get another first down, and then they just went from there and they moved the ball downfield, converted on a fourth down, and 2 plays later, they're in the end zone, back on top of this game.
Now, I'll be curious here, and I'm kind of looking towards the Milton sideline to see who's around and who's not. The Red Tornadoes haven't gotten through and blocked the initial extra point. Do the Panthers try to get that point back with the 2-point conversion here? Recognizing that at least through, the first, 21 and a half minutes, points are a premium. Yeah.
I think a 2-point conversion here, while going to be difficult, I think it's worth taking the chance if you're the Red Tornadoes. Sorry, I'm sorry. If you're the Milton Black Panthers, I apologize.
Widener is up, and he'll be helped off the field. And I'm looking for, the person I'm looking for really, Dan, is Lopez.
Yeah, for 27.
Is she out there or not? Or maybe, I guess I could always just look for 8.
Yeah, that's what I was doing now, looking into the huddle there for Bastian.
And there he is. Yep. So as expected, the Panthers will try to get that point back. Try to make this a true 7-point ball game here. But again, if you're the Red Tornadoes, a stop here goes a long way.
Yeah.
2:41 left in the first half. It's 12-7 Panthers. Trips to the right. Doyle to Bastian's right. He takes the snap and he's going to roll that way. Bastian's going to look to throw, and now he's going to have to run, and he's going to put his head down, and he's not going to get there. The Red Tornadoes turn him away, so it'll stay 12-7. We'll see who gets up last for the Red Tornadoes. And it's a big boy.
Yeah, is that Shimko?
I'm trying to see. Just give us a little shake here, right? Let's get a look.
Or actually, is that Herb?
I think that's
Bumps.
Yeah. So a huge play by Bumps.
Yeah.
Turning Bastian away, who, again, as we said, is a big kid and was running downhill.
Yes, and I finally got him to turn. Somebody on the sideline must have heard our cries and wanted to give him a high five for making that play. He turned, and we verified that was the double nickel out there. So really good job there by Herb. Because you're right, Jim. It looked like Bastian saw a lane. And Herb flowing with the play, doing exactly what you're supposed to do defensively, made a great play.
Well, it's hard in that situation, right? Because you've only got half the field to play with.
Right.
And you've only got the ball's at the 2, so you got 12 yards.
Right.
And everything's flowing to the right side for Bastion, so he had his receivers in those out patterns. Eventually, those guys run out of space, and Bastion's got to put his foot in the ground and make a decision, and he did. And again, I'm sure in a lot of cases that works out, but fortunately, if you're here supporting the red and white tonight, Bumps was in there to kind of turn him away.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we'll see. We'll see what the move is here for the Red Tornadoes. 2:41 here to go in the half, and down a score. So we'll see if that Red Tornado offense, what kind of urgency they come out onto the field with after they receive this kick.
Good kick from Rhodes. Diaz is going to take it right at the 10. He's going to try to make some moves, but nowhere to go. Good coverage by the Black Panthers. Looked like that was number 10. Cole Rhodes, I think, was the first one on site to kind of stop up Diaz.
Yeah, that was a good job there by the coverage team, but now we'll see again. This Red Tornado offense, this is the first time in a while we've seen them playing with a long field in front of them. So we'll see if they can put together a long drive here to put some points on the board to go into before they go into the half. Maybe a chance for a 2-for-1 since they'll be receiving the second half kickoff.
Spears the throw, he flips it out to Bailey, and Bailey puts his head down, but not a whole lot to get there, maybe 2 yards. Bailey's got a few receptions on the season. Well, he's got a few. He had one coming into tonight, but it was a big one, 39 yards.
Yeah.
And they're back up on the ball. And it's a quick out to Blitchick. Blitchick cuts to the inside. There's a flag on the play. I think it's going to be an illegal motion against the Red Tornadoes, an illegal shift, if you will.
Yeah, I don't believe the Red Tornadoes were fully set on that one, unfortunately.
And now, as you look at this offense, this 2-minute offense, which is, again, it's not something Mount Carmel's had in the past, right? It's been run heavy. They've had the ability to throw it, but have relied on the rushing attack. And I just think back to last week where it was after Kimsell's intercepted the ball at the goal line, Red Tornadoes had just a few seconds left in the first half. And the last play of the half was Diaz coming down the sideline, right? And he got to about midfield before he was run out of bounds. So this team continues to be able to strike from anywhere, whenever.
You're right about that, Jim, but unfortunately moving in the wrong direction with the penalty there. Again, the speed got him.
They let him through. There's a screen set up, and it's incomplete. They're looking for Blessing, but it'll fall to the turf. And now, again, as we've said before, the danger with the tempo is it's 3rd and long with 1:50.
Yeah, now the Black Panthers only have one timeout remaining. What do you do? Do you try to run this one? Hopefully you pick up a first down. If you don't, let the play clock run down before you punt? Or do you continue being aggressive? Knowing Coach Dara, I think you continue being aggressive on the offensive side of the ball.
I think if the Red Tornadoes wanted to be more conservative, they'd go double wing here. So I think you're right, Dan, and Spears is going to throw. But now we've got another flag, and it's a false start. So the Red Tornadoes struggling to get out of their own way here late in the first half. Yeah,
and the one thing that I noticed watching some film that the Black Panthers do is when they're bringing pressure, they'll walk their linebackers up. They'll have them kind of do that little jump step, and then they'll walk back. They come from distance. They come from on the line. So it's hard as an offensive line to see all that motion across from you and keep yourself from moving around.
So it's 3rd and about 17. Spears is going to throw. He rolls out to his left. He's got to get past the initial line. Now he's going to run. He's going to be drugged down from behind, so it's a nice play by the Panthers. Looks like, is that 21,
I
Luke
think
Maturani.
So.
He's going to bring up 4th and long. And the Black Panthers didn't opt to use their timeout.
Yeah, I mean, with only one left, you're in a tough position. Do you want to save it for offense or?
Now that the clock has stopped, I guess Spears did get out of bounds. It's back to running again.
Yeah.
I didn't think the clock had stopped on that play, so Kricky eyeballing the play clock in the end zone. Will wait as long as he can. It's a good snap. The Panthers come after it, but they can't get there. It's a good punt. It's going to take a good bounce away from Rarick. Fesniak there, and they'll let it roll as long as they can. It'll be stopped at the 34-yard line, so a nice job by Karicki, flipping the field a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, with 1:01 left here now, the Black Panthers have the ball with 1 timeout. I mean, we've seen the quick strike ability from them on their first touchdown. So Bastion can air it out. So we'll see what they opt to do, or if they're content taking this 5-point lead into the half. But again, the only danger with trying to take this into the half is the fact that Coach Dara has 3 remaining timeouts.
Well, they look tight to start that bunch just off the left tackle. Bastion has Doyle in the backfield and a tight end to the right. And they give it to Doyle. And he's going to push his blocker. A nice job getting out of bounds. He'll get up to about the 40-yard line. So it'll stop the clock with 55 seconds left. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Yeah, and Jim, that just looked like a student body left. I mean, you get Doyle the ball behind 3 or 4 linemen, a couple of receivers out there against 2 or 3 Red Tornadoes. That's a tough play to defend.
And the Panthers will open it up a little bit, but still they'll split the receivers to the boundary side of the field. And it'll be Doyle again, and he's going to be slowed up by Blessing. He'll step through the tackle initially, but will be stopped not long after by Reed and Shimko.
Yeah.
And now Dan, you see who called that timeout?
Yeah, just as I was about to say, Coach Dara doesn't seem to want to use those timeouts. He does use one. I think he was trying to see where the ball was set, and once the ball was placed, he third and medium here. Let's take a timeout and force the Black Panthers to make a play.
And now Dan, I tried to set you up last week and you let me down. So why do you think Coach Dara might be taking a timeout there?
This is a good time for a shot play. What do you think, Jim?
This is a sick joke.
What do you think?
Because you can't take him with you, Dan.
This is very true.
You can't take him with you.
This
That's 2 weeks in a row now. I try to set you up to say because you can't take him with you.
Well, you definitely can't take him with you, but I think there's a little bit more strategy behind this one.
There's absolutely the strategy. And you called that out first, so I figured I'd give you the other opportunity there.
Yeah, you definitely cannot take them with you.
So it's 3rd and 4 from the 40 with 41 seconds left. If there were 42 seconds left, I'd remind you of our sponsor tonight, Salon 42. Bastion takes it off the right side, and he's going to be close to the first down. I think he's going to have it.
Yeah, I think he's going to have it too, and I think that'll stamp out all strategic ideas, at least from the Red Tornado side, if they do give them and they do call it a first down.
Well, and now I'm curious to see which Coach Zettelmoyer, if he's going to take any shots here, because again, we saw it. Bastion's got a big arm, and Coach has a timeout left.
Yeah, I mean, why not? But it appears that he's not in any rush to get the play into the huddle.
No, and I think that's probably pretty respectful of the Red Tornado offense is what that is. We've seen the film. We know they can strike from anywhere. And they give it to Doyle again, and Karicki will continue his nice half as he drops him in the backfield.
Yeah.
And the Milton Black Panthers content to head into the half, leading the Red Tornadoes for the 2nd time in 2 seasons. This time 12-7 here at Alumni Stadium in Milton, Pennsylvania. It's been a heck of a first half. We're looking forward to the second one. We will be back with stats, scores, and the second half. We hope you are too.
We would like to recognize the list of box police and legendary MK Mountain for Thank you, Russell Graff, and Woodland Rangers for collecting the most. And now we invite you to sit back and enjoy the 2023 edition of the Mount Carmel Area High School Big Red Badge.
Hello and welcome back to Alumni Stadium, where the Milton Black Panthers lead the visiting Red Tornadoes 12-7 after one half of play. Dan, I believe, as always, we have some stats from our good friend Jose on the sideline.
Yes, sir, we do.
Can you walk us through that? Give us a little context to this 12-7 score.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, it's been a tough game for both offenses so far, but we'll look at everything that Jose has compiled so far. So right now, the Red Tornadoes, 26 rushing attempts for 72 yards on the ground, 6 of 9 passing for 26 yards, 98 yards total, and totaling 5 first downs in that first half. So on the other side, for the Milton Black Panthers, we've got 21 rushing attempts for 61 yards, 2 of 5 passing for 53 yards. And Jim, if my math is correct, that looks like about 114 total yards of offense for the Milton Black Panthers. Also 5 first downs. So, I mean, it's been a pretty evenly fought offensive struggle between these two teams so far.
Offensive struggle, that's an apt way to put it, I think. We talked about the Red Tornado and their offense's explosiveness that it's shown over the first 3 weeks. Not necessarily seen in the first half. There were glimpses as always, but again, that less than 100 yards total offense in 24 minutes of play, Dan, for a team that averages well over 400 for a full contest so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, that's to get back on average here, they're going to have a pretty big second half. And I think that's, you know, going into the locker room, that's got to be the focus is how can the Red Tornadoes convert their long, they've had a couple long drives. How can they convert them into points? You know, a couple fourth down stops, credit to the Black Panther defense. I mean, toughening up when they needed to in positions. But I think you know, we talked about it here during the half, you know, what we think the Red Tornadoes might opt to do or what we think they might need to do. And I think you got to go back to Old Faithful. I mean, at this point in the game, you don't have that veteran offensive line that you had all year last year. But you have some horses up front, and you've got some guys that can blow open some holes. You want to see the Red Tornadoes really, really start to focus on that rushing attack on their first offensive drive here and soften up that Milton defense and then start trying to hit them over the top with the pass.
I think that makes sense. I mean, it's also easier said than done.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
As we were talking about it again, the Panthers, Black Panthers come in tonight at 2-1. In their one loss, they gave up 14 points. Yeah. Right. They gave up 13 last week, and I think a couple of touchdowns versus Tawanda a few weeks ago, but nevertheless, a really stout defense that's accounted for itself very well, at least through the first 24 minutes of play. And while we get situated here and get ready to start, a couple other scores we were looking at from around the area, just kind of for anybody who's interested. We've got Selinsgrove currently up 42-0 over the Shamokin Indians. Danville leads Loyalsock 21-13 at the half. Southern Columbia 56-7 over the Lewisburg Green Dragons at the half. And Central and Montoursville knotted at 7 with Warrior Run leading Hughesville 7-0.
Yeah, that Danville and Loyalsock game must be a good one to be watching. But I wouldn't rather be anywhere but here at Alumni Stadium here watching this game as we're about to get this second half started.
And if you are watching it, wherever you're watching from, maybe you're in St. Louis with those dozen folks with Mr. Clayman, again, happy to have you with us. But wherever you might be, we want to remind you, WKMC TV is a student-run TV studio, so the sights and sounds you get tonight are courtesy of Mount Carmel area students. And we're appreciative of our sponsor, Salon 42. Rhodes gets off a good kick to Kimsel, and he picks it back up right around the 10. He's going to try to get up through the middle. It'll be around the 25. Looks like they're going to mark him at the 24. And it'll be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes. Yeah, really good job by Kimsel after having a little bit of trouble with the handle initially, picking that up and just getting up in that briar patch, Jim. He just went right for the middle, kind of found that wedge. You know, they're not allowed to run a wedge anymore, but that's essentially what it is. You know, you get like most of your blockers, you just get up where you see
the backs of white jerseys and try to follow somebody, and he did a good job, turned that into a pretty nice gain. Pretty nice return there to start the Red Tornadoes' first offensive drive of this half.
Again, this Red Tornado offense will start open. Spears is going to flip it out, and it's almost intercepted. Goodwin saw the play coming the whole way, tried to jump the route, and it just kind of went through his hands, but a great play by number 34, Luke Goodwin.
Yeah, really awesome play. I mean, that's a timing play all the way. Spears gets that ball and gets it out of his hands immediately. Two receivers in the area. It was Diaz and Belichick, but wasn't entirely sure who it was going to, but almost went to Goodwin.
And now trouble with the snap there. Spears is picked up and slammed to the turf after a short gain out to the 29. So very quickly, again, Dan, it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, I mean, this hurry-up offense is good when you're able to move the ball. And we see the Red Tornadoes decide to go tight here on 3rd down.
Third and about 6. They'll pitch it to Blessing. He's going to pick his way through. The ball is on the ground, and the Black Panthers recovered it. It's going to be returned inside the 28. Now, there is a penalty. We'll see where the penalty goes.
And that was Fisher on the recovery, Jim. 32, Montgomery Fisher.
And I think that happened so fast. I'm not sure everybody in the stadium knew what was going on.
No. It took me a second to find where the ball was. I saw Blessings, trying to fight through tackles, and he didn't have the football.
Now it's a hold against the Red Tornadoes, which the Panthers will, of course, decline. And they'll be back in business, 1st and 10 at the Red Tornado 28-yard line very early in the second half.
Yeah, Jim, and that's just what the doctor ordered there for the Panthers. That's exactly what you want, kicking the ball off to the Red Tornadoes. You want to get a quick change of possession there, and they made it happen. Now we'll see if this is a good time for a shot play, Jim.
3 receivers to the right for Bastion, so they're set up for it. But it's going to be Doyle off that left side, and he'll take a shot from Kimsel, but keep plugging down near the 20. They're going to say the 22 is where he goes down, so it'll be 2nd and 4.
Yeah, and the Panthers seem to be having success running to the left side, that left side, and the Red Tornadoes don't really seem to have an answer for it at this point.
Well, on that left side, Dan, that's number 68, Hunter Zettelmoyer, 6'3", 255. I think that's 58, Connor Snyder at 6'2", 220.
There's some big boys out in front there.
And they'll go that way again. They'll fall forward for actually, they're going to mark him down at the 20, so it's going to be 3rd and about a yard.
Yeah, and again, I mean, just there was room there. If Doyle didn't lose his footing, there was room. But credit to the Red Tornado defense getting to him early and not really letting him get started.
The Red Tornadoes need to make a play here. Two receivers to the right, 2 to the left. They'll look to spread the Red Tornado defense out. Bastion's going to give it to Doyle right up the middle. It'll be stopped, but it should be enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, Jim, it seems like when the Black Panthers kind of spread things out there, the Red Tornadoes pull their inside linebackers and have them blitzing off the edge, which, leaves only one line of defense.
And they're actually going to say it's short. So by about the length of the football, it's going to be 4th and a foot. Now, we've seen this Red Tornado defense come up with big stops in these situations early on in the season. Certainly would love to see another one here. And Bastion will come under center. And he's going to have the 1st down. A great job. And you get that push there. And now there might be too much pushing.
Yeah. Yeah, because
we'll have to wait and see.
I think the pushing is allowed. I think when there's pulling, I think that's
exactly what it is, Dan. That is the helping a runner with interlocked blocking is the call.
Okay. So that's that wedge play, as we talked about. That's unfortunately you can't do that. So that fourth down conversion is going to turn into a fourth and a little bit longer.
And it is tricky, right? Because it must be a fine line between, because again, from a casual observer standpoint, you know, where we're sitting, that didn't look that much different than the push that got Bastion into the end zone around the goal line.
Right.
It's just, it's what's been happening in football for centuries with linemen getting behind their runner and pushing them forward.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen it a few times over the last couple of years. I think it's becoming more of a thing that the referees kind of focus on recently.
And so it's like a weird penalty too, because it's 5 yards. But again, it doesn't.
Is it 5 yards? It must be 5 yards from where the play ended.
Right, because it's not 4th and 5 now. It certainly doesn't look like it.
And they're going to kick a field goal here, Jim.
And Mackenzie Lopez out there, so this is going to be about a 38-yard kick. And it's a good snap, and it's blocked. The Red Tornadoes blocked the kick. And the defense needed to come up big, and they do. And they'll get the ball back in the hands of the offense. No worse for the winner.
Yeah, Jim, I think that was Maddox Reed. I mean, I saw he was the first one off the field on the sideline. I think it was Reed, the first one off the field. I think he was the first one in the backfield and was probably the one that was able to get his hand on that. So the Mad Dog coming up big there for the Red Tornadoes, giving their offense another chance here to take the lead back.
And now, Dan, the Red Tornadoes tighten up here in the shotgun double wing.
Yeah, and is that Lukoski in the wing there? I don't think that's Diaz.
You're right, that is Lukoski. Lukoski and Bailey to the right, and it's going to be Blessing. And he's going to try to get outside, and he just can't. What a play. That's Verdinelli.
Yeah.
Having himself quite a night on the edge.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great play there by Verdinelli. You can't really do anything there. Blessing saw the sideline. I mean, that was the right play, trying to bounce that outside. But unfortunately, Verdinelli shut the edge down as well.
Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. And it's that quick out to Belichick, who does a good job hanging on to the football. But Fisher gave him a stick and only a short gain. It's going to be, again, very, very quickly, 3rd and about 8.
Yeah, and you see the Red Tornadoes again, I mean, Belichick ran that ball into the referee like they were getting ready to run a clock play, just quickly up on the ball here.
Belichick's going to roll to his left, and he floats it out, and it's a first down. A good route by Schultz and a good ball by Spears will keep the drive moving.
Yeah, really nice job there by the Red Tornadoes, converting that 3rd and long there. And I mean, credit to Coach Dara. He has a plan for this offense, and he's sticking to it. And it's showing here with that first down in the second half.
Well, and I'd like to see Spears take the top off the defense a little bit, because that offensive line is giving him time to throw.
Absolutely.
And again, it's just that quick out, and it's intercepted. No, fell incomplete. My goodness, Dan, I thought that fell. Oh my God, I thought that fell into the hands of. That's not.
I think that's Minium.
Yeah, Fisher's on our side. You're right. That's Minium. It kind of bounced from Schultz. I thought Minium. I thought it was in his breadbasket.
Yeah, I mean, Jim, that ball just comes out so quickly. Sometimes the receivers are just turning around and that ball's on them. So that's a tough one to reel in with that. But that's that quick game that the Red Tornadoes like to run.
Well, and with that Red Tornado pace of play, one thing that's hard at times is to really give credit to those big guys up front, because again, we're constantly talking about where the ball is and who has the ball. But again, the possibilities, I think, for this passing attack tonight especially are because of that offensive line. So we're talking Delaney, Spears, Erb, Lamas, and Shimko.
Yeah.
And the phenomenal job they're doing of giving Spears that clean pocket to where I would really like to see them take a shot down the field.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, you have the right setup for it right here. I mean, with Diaz in the wing slot, maybe see Diaz running down the sideline here.
It's 2nd and 10. Spears is the blitz is picked up beautifully, and there we go. And he's looking for Diaz. He's going to try to split him, and it's just out of his reach. But that's what needs to happen. You need to put that fear out there, I think, in the back end of that Black Panther defense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great ball from Spears there and a good route from Diaz, but unfortunately the Black Panthers covered it very well. I mean, with 2 high safeties there, he tried to split the defense, but unfortunately the defense was right there.
And it's tough in that case, as Diaz looked like the only one in that pattern. And Spears is going to throw again, and he's got Bailey in the middle of the field, who's incomplete. They're saying it's incomplete. So I think either Bailey or Minium could have caught that one. And
yeah.
Unfortunately, for both sides, neither did. It just falls incomplete, and the Red Tornadoes are going to punt.
Yeah, and again, I mean, credit to the Black Panther defense. They're standing tough against this Red Tornado attack.
And I think you said something before, Dan, and you're absolutely right. The too high safety.
Yeah.
That's causing a little bit of trouble for the Red Tornadoes. And Cricky struggles with the snap. He still gets a punt out, and hopefully he should get a nice little roll here. And Fesniak's going to snag that one right at the 31.
Yeah, it kind of bounced right into Fesniak's arms there.
He caught it. It was a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
But so 7:15 remaining in the third quarter. Somewhat of a surprising outcome here. 12-7 Panthers. Not necessarily who's leading, who's not, but I expected more points on both sides so far tonight.
Absolutely, Jim. You know, we came into the game kind of talking about how potent both of these offenses have been. The Midwest put up 57 points last week. Last week was the third straight week for the Red Tornadoes, had 100 passing, rushing, receiving, and now we've got a 12-7 score almost halfway through the third quarter.
Ashton brings Fisher in motion. He's going to give it to Doyle off that left side. And again, even though looks like there's nothing there, he's going to pick up 4 yards.
Yeah, Doyle does a good job just kind of rolling with the hits that are coming to him. He was able to kind of roll and spin forward for a little bit of an extra yard or two there.
So it'll be 2nd and 6 at the 34. Fesniak at the far corner, spelling Diaz for this drive. Again, Miller and Blichik are those defensive ends. Reed and Blessing, the linebackers, to support that stout defensive front. It's Doyle off the left side, and he's going to run through some tacklers. He stays forward. A nice job by Doyle keeping his legs pumping. He'll have a few extra ones to bring up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, and we talked about on the Red Tornado side the patience of the Red Tornado running backs with Blessing, just waiting behind his blockers for something to develop. Doyle's doing the same thing on the Black Panther side, just getting behind 3 or 4 offensive linemen and letting them kind of lead him through, and he's fighting through arm tackles on the way. But credit to that Black Panthers offensive line.
Ball's at the 39-yard line. The Red Tornadoes look like they're going to come after this one. And it's Doyle again off the left side, and he's got space. It's a first down, and he'll get out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. So a good job there of sealing the edge and picking up the first down.
Yeah, I mean, really good job. And like you said, Jim, it appears that the Black Panthers kind of have a remedy to everything that the Red Tornadoes are throwing at them. The Red Tornadoes, they decide they're going to bring some pressure on a 3rd down, and they just go outside. All the white jerseys get crammed into the middle there, and it's, Doyle against 1 or 2 Red Tornado defenders.
Bastion. High snap. He does a good job bringing it down. He's going to keep it himself, and he gets inside. So a nice job there to pick up about 5 on what very easily could have been a busted play.
Yeah, I mean, we continue talking about, just the potency of this run game and Doyle. But, we mentioned earlier that Bastion's the 2nd leading rusher on this team. He has 111 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns coming into this game this week. So he's very capable as a runner as well.
As there is a Milton Black Panther down on the field. I'm not quite sure who that is, but while he's tended to, another thing we haven't talked about yet tonight, Dan, Supper Club.
Right.
Right, so it's Friday night, so last night and next Thursday and all Thursdays while the season's in play, you have a chance to head down to Matucci's in Mount Carmel. Get the back room there, and Thursday nights at 6:30, you get a chance to hang out with some really cool folks. You've got some football players that'll be there, band members, cheerleaders, different weeks, TV studio. Coach Darrell will be there. You'll have a good opportunity to talk Mount Carmel football and eat some really good food. So again, that's Thursday nights at Matucci's at 6:30.
Yeah, you want to talk about the back room of Matucci's. The front of Matucci's has just been renovated, and it looks beautiful, Jim. I haven't been in there yet, but it looks amazing. It's completely different look than it used to be, but it's beautiful. It's wide open. There's a lot of seating in there, so make sure you get to Matucci's and check that out as well.
We were ready for play here. Now we got a stoppage. Not quite sure why. Haven't seen any signals. Perhaps we're going to talk. Oh,
here we go.
Reset the clock.
Yeah.
All right. 5:08 here in the third quarter. Milton Black Panthers lead the Red Tornadoes 12-7. The ball sits at the 49-yard line of the Black Panthers. They hand it to Doyle, and Doyle's into Red Tornado territory, out over the 45 for a first down.
Yeah, and again, Jim, you know, we talked about it. The Black Panthers with a 12-7 lead and driving here. I mean that's their second first down of this drive, and they look very content to just run the ball up the middle, take what the Red Tornadoes are giving them, and even if that is 3-4 yards at a clip, that's gonna pay for them if they continue to do this.
Bastion, Doyle, left side. He puts his head down and he runs through a Red Tornado defender, and he'll be out of bounds.
And that's a really good job there.
There's a little push there at the end, but I think what you got to see there is if you go back again and look at the tape, Reed had done a nice job kind of containing the edge and got spun around a little bit there.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, a nice run by Doyle as he tried to finish it off. 1st and 10 from the 25. Dan, as I'm watching this, I can't help but feel like I'm watching the Eagles last night again.
Yeah. I mean, just content to continue running the ball, and they have continued success with it.
This time it's Bastion up across the 20. Have to see where they mark them. I think they're going to mark them right at the 20. So that'll bring up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, and again, Jim, I mean, if you can get five yards of carry, why go away from it? You know,
that's pretty good.
That's a very, very, very good way to continue moving the ball.
If you're picking up 5 yards every play, you don't have to worry about third down.
You're right about that.
Keep those conversion stats and your third down plays in your pocket.
Yeah.
Bastion, the handoff. And this time he gives number 20, Jaden Canello, off the right side. And he'll be down to the 14. Excuse me, the 16. About a yard short.
Yeah, and you get you see Doyle gets a one-play break there.
Yep.
Canello puts together a nice little run, and Doyle back in the game.
So again, 3rd and short here. Inside the red zone. Panthers looking to keep the drive alive in hopes of making this a 2-score game. And Doyle is stopped in the backfield, so the Red Tornado defense, that's Shimko and Bumps and Karicki. So that's the interior of that defensive line.
Yeah, I mean, great job there by the Red Tornadoes. You need one more play like that to kind of stamp out this fire that the Black Panthers have kind of started with this nice drive they've put together so far. Now you got a 4th and 2, 4th and 3 here. Need a big stop here from the defense.
Now this is where the Black Panthers have kind of favored that left side of the offensive line. So let's see to kind of give that cross handoff to Doyle. That's what it is, and he's going to have. It's going to be close.
Very close, Jim. It's going to depend on where the spot is. Oh, maybe not. They're already calling that a first down.
And there is a Black Panther down. It's Doyle. Now Doyle popped up, and he's going to get himself off the field. So that'll be 1st and 10, Black Panthers. The ball just inside the 15-yard line.
And it appears now the Black Panthers may be opting to go to the air here with Doyle kind of coming off a little lame there. They sub in Quentin Keister, who they have listed as a wide receiver cornerback.
Fisher's in the backfield with Bastion. He's got 8 carries for 87 yards on the season, so he's not totally unfamiliar, and they give it to him. He's going to try to get the edge, and he can't get there. Nice job by Ben Miller to drop him in the backfield.
Yeah, that's a great play by Miller there, just setting the edge and holding it. You know, he didn't give up any ground. Really nice play there.
And so again, for what feels like, you know, the 10th or 11th time tonight, the Red Tornadoes are calling on their defense.
Yeah.
Make a play.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if the defense continues to stand up, you know that offense is going to catch fire eventually.
And now Bastion will throw it. He's rolling out, and he's looking, and he fires a rocket. Oh my goodness, incomplete, but the arm strength.
It's incredible, and I mean that's rolling to your left, off balance there. Bastion throwing that ball out there, just a cannon of an arm.
I thought for a second the windows around that beautiful weight room were in trouble because Bastion just let that rock. But now the ball sits right around the 17-yard line. They got to get to the 5 for a first. It's 3rd and a dozen. It's a big set to the left. Bastion's going to roll that way again, but this time he's going to keep it himself. He's got some orange jerseys in front of him, but just ran out of space. Hit that sideline earlier than maybe he thought, so it's only a gain of a couple. We'll get inside the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 4th and 9, and we'll see if they opt to kick again.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that they have in their repertoire if they can. But I mean, they've attempted 2 kicks and they've both been blocked so far. So that I think we're going to go offense on the field here. You see Bastion heading back out there to the huddle. So big 4th down here for both teams.
Yeah. And Doyle's back in there. He'll ride sidecar left to Bastion, and Bastion's calling a timeout. He saw something he didn't like right away. And
you know what, Jim? That's leadership right there. You know, Bastion realizing the how much kind of weighs on this play here. You know, under a minute here to go in the 3rd quarter. So making the right decision. Saw something he didn't like, called the timeout, and going to reevaluate and try and come up with a 4th down play here.
Yeah, this is very easily a 5+ minute drive, right? And you think about it in the context of a 12-minute quarter.
Yeah.
Right? That Red Tornado defense has been on the field a lot, and for as much as Coach Dara has stressed his desire to have one-way players, and he's been successful in that, if you look especially at that defensive line, you see 55 and 77.
Yeah.
Right? That's your center and your right tackle.
Right. Yeah, I mean they're important guys on both sides of the ball, and I mean they're working out there. I mean, credit to them both for going both ways and doing it at the level that they do it.
So here we go. What's likely the biggest play of the game thus far. 4th and 9. Bastion's in the shotgun. Brings the receiver in motion, and he's going to roll to his right, and he's looking for Rarick, and he's going to throw it out there, and it's just outside of his reach. Oh, my goodness. It was good coverage by the Red Tornadoes. A great ball by Bastion.
Yeah, I mean,
but there's a flag on the play.
And I mean, if it's in the backfield.
Well, it's down here to right about the 15-yard line.
Oh, an illegal man downfield.
It's against the Black Panthers. The Red Tornadoes will decline, and the defense holds yet again, keeping the offense in this ball game.
Yeah, and now, you know, the defense is going to look at the offense. You know, we've talked about the speed of this Red Tornado offense, but the defense has to be looking at Coach Dara and that Red Tornado offense and saying, take your time. Put together a drive. Give us a little bit of a breather here on the sidelines. Even if you're going to score, don't do it quickly.
And they'll come out in the shotgun double wing. Spears will send Diaz in motion. They'll pitch it to him, try to get Diaz on the edge, and he cuts back, but there's no cutback lane. That's a phenomenal play. I think that's Zettelmoyer. Or was it 58? Or if it's 68, it's Zettelmoyer. If it's 58, it's Snyder. I think it was 68.
Yeah, I'm not. Not sure, but either way, I mean, the lateral speed of this Milton Black Panthers team is incredible. I mean, Diaz, one of the fastest kids you're gonna see on the field at any level that you're playing at, and was just strung out. Didn't have anywhere to go. Couldn't get the edge.
And Lukoski will spell Diaz for the moment. Spears is going to throw. Now he's under pressure. He rolls to his left. He still wants to throw. Spears has speed himself. He gets the first down and gets out of bounds. So a nice play by number 11 to get this initial first down of a very pivotal drive for the Red Tornadoes.
Nice play by Spears and a smart play by Spears, Jim. Getting out of bounds, not taking the unnecessary hits. That's what you want your quarterback to do.
There's less than a second remaining. The clock had stopped with Spears stepping out of bounds. So on what will be the last play of the third quarter, Red Tornadoes will start at the 28-yard line. Spears will throw it quick out to Belichick, and Belichick's able to make the first man miss and get out to about the 38, very near another first down. But as the third quarter comes to a close, Belichick remains on the ground. He gets himself up. So we'll get a check here as the teams change side after 3 quarters. 12-7 Milton.
Yeah, Jim, just this has been such an impressive game by both defenses to this point. And it's going to come down to which offense can step up when it needs to do it. I mean, I think the evidenced by the attempted field goal in the second quarter there by the Black Panthers is they realized early on that this points are going to come at a premium. And, credit to the Red Tornadoes blocking that field goal. But, this is a one-score game. The Red Tornadoes can put 6 points on the board. They have the lead. And then, I mean, it's been
enough for the first down, the last play of the third quarter. So Spears comes out, he's rolling to his left. Again, he's been able to throw all night. He floats it out and away. He's under pressure from, that was 58, that's Snyder. But one of those cases where Spears essentially rolls into Snyder's rushing lane.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Blessing's doing what he can there to get the pocket, but Spears is out in front of him.
Right. And yeah, I mean, it's tough all around here. If Spears isn't setting up in the pocket when he's breaking that pocket, there's always somebody kind of coming untouched.
And now Blessing picks up the fumble, and he has a first down the sideline. So another potentially disastrous play. As the Red Tornadoes have trouble with the snap, it bounces right into Blessing's arms, and he picks up 12.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge play there by Blessing. Now we've got a Black Panther down on the Red Tornado sideline. But you're right, Jim. Potentially disastrous play. The Red Tornadoes are finally starting to find a little bit of a rhythm with their offense, and then the ball hits the turf, and it becomes a fire drill at that point. Blessing having the wherewithal to just have that, I mean, notice that the ball kind of bounced into his waiting arms. And not just fall on it, but turn it into a first down and a pretty significant gain for the Red Tornadoes is huge.
Looks like, is that 58, Dan, or is that a 6?
I believe that's a 5. Looks.
Sorry, the other number.
Yeah, appears to be a 5. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
It's 58 at Snyder. If it's 50, I think it's 56.
Yeah,
Trey
I think it
Locke.
is a 6. Looks like there's a little break there.
Making his way to the sideline. Again, this has been, so far, this is a great night. 15 minutes into the fourth quarter. It's a 5-point game. The Red Tornadoes trail 12-7. This WKMC TV broadcast night is sponsored by Salon 42. So we appreciate their patronage as Spears is under pressure, and the ball is out. And the Red Tornadoes are fortunate enough to fall on it.
Wow.
But my goodness, great job by Shimko jumping on that football. But it'll be a big loss for the Big Red, no less.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's going to double up the sticks there. It looks like it's going to be a 2nd and 20 now for the Red Tornadoes after that's two consecutive plays that the ball has hit the turf for the Red Tornadoes. And we'll see a strange setup here for the Red Tornadoes. And
the Red Tornadoes are going to pay for that strange setup twice.
Yeah.
As number one, there's going to be some illegal formation there, an eligible receiver, whatever it ends up being called.
Yeah.
But I think worse yet, the Black Panthers will likely decline the penalty and take another big loss.
Yeah, and you're right, Jim. That's what it's going to be. I mean, yeah, the smart by the Black Panthers and Coach Zettelmoyer. I mean, they're going to decline that. It's going to be third and forever for the Red Tornadoes now. So after the Red Tornadoes drive, looked like it had some steam there, had some legs. A sack and a penalty has kind of put them in a very precarious position.
Spears again with a beautiful pocket, but he's got nobody to throw to. Schultz is coming back to the ball, and it'll just be short. So it's going to bring up 4th and long.
Yeah, I mean, the Red Tornadoes have to opt to punt here. And again, you just transfer that pressure to your defense.
And you got to give the Milton Black Panther defensive backfield all the credit in the world.
Absolutely.
Spears is not missing guys and not completing passes because he's under pressure. He's got time. There's just nobody open.
Yeah, it appears the Black Panthers have always been bringing a 3-man rush.
And Kricky had a good kick that, again, took what looked to be a good bounce, but it kind of hit a Red Tornado in the back.
Yeah, and
so
stopped it in its tracks.
Yeah, it's going to stop. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 26 for the Black Panthers. Again, they lead the visiting Red Tornadoes 12-7 with 10:43 remaining in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and again, I mean, Jim, we talked about so much that, you know, how much pressure the Red Tornado defense has been under. And, I mean, the length of the Black Panthers' last drive, I mean, they weren't able to convert into the points. Credit to the Red Tornado defense for standing up when they had to. But just the length and how much time they took off the clock. If they're able to do that again, the Red Tornadoes are going to have their backs up against the wall and not only playing against that tough Black Panther defense, but the clock.
It's Doyle. And he'll give him, the ball is out, but I do believe the Panthers got back on it. It'll be out to the 31, a pickup of about 4 for Doyle.
Yeah.
Again, ball security issues on both sides, and it's been pretty consistent from the jump tonight, Dan, with trouble with both sides hanging on to the football from a snap standpoint, handoffs, and then even securing it through contact. So it'll be 2nd and 6. Bastian's going to throw. He flips it out for Fisher, and Fisher's got a little tunnel screen set up there. Good tackle made by Lukowski.
Yeah.
But not before the Panthers pick up a 1st down.
Very nice tackle by Lukowski. And even with how quickly Bastian got that ball out, he was under pressure immediately. I mean, the Red Tornadoes, when the Black Panthers do decide to put the ball in the air, Bastian has very little time to set up. But, I mean, he's doing a great job with the little time that he has, just making the throws that he needs to make.
Fisher and Rarick split to the left. We're going to get a false start against the Panthers. So 1st and 10 will turn into 1st and 15, and the ball move back to the 36.
Yeah, we'll see now. I mean, what Coach Zettelmoyer decides to do. I mean, there's no rush. There's no reason to fret. Your team has the lead right now, and your defense has been playing out of this world. But it appears that he might want to, you know, attempt to put another score on the board and kind of put this one away.
Bastian hands it to Doyle, and Doyle nowhere to go. Well, he stays strong, he fights. And that was an interesting play, Dan.
Yeah, it was.
Because at some point, admittedly, I lost track of Doyle.
Yeah. Yeah, he got kind of spun around, and you thought that was where the play was going to end. But he was still kind of pumping his legs and stayed on his feet, working his way forward.
But did the officials blow it dead before that? Because they got the ball at the 39, which is about a 3-yard gain, which is about where we lost track of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. I don't have an answer for you, but it's a good question.
4 wide for the Black Panthers, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Bastian's going to throw. He's under pressure, and he's going up top, and it'll be just out of the reach of Fisher, who's one-on-one with Lukoski, but Lukoski had him step for step.
Yeah, very, very well defended again by Lukoski. He's been doing a great job out there against Fisher, who's pretty much if Bastian's throwing a deep ball, he's throwing it to Fisher. So great job by Lukoski, just knowing like, hey, this is probably where the ball's going to go if he drops back for a pass, and shadowing him step for step.
And now Fisher's going to come to the sideline. So on 3rd and 12, Fisher far and away Bastian's favorite target. So we'll see what they opt to do on 3rd and 12. If they're going to try to pick up all 12 or just try to get a couple to make 4th down a little more interesting. And Bastian's going to keep it himself off the left side, and he won't get too much more, about the 43-yard line, you're going to say. So it's going to be 4th and around 8. And given the way the Black Panther defense has been playing tonight, Coach Zettelmoyer has no concern punting the football here.
Yeah, and I think you're right, Jim. I think, and listen, we've seen it, and maybe now we do see a little bit of pressure from, maybe not.
They got us again.
They did get us again. But, I mean, they've been having trouble with the snap all game.
And it's a good snap that time. Verdinelli, great end-over-end kick. Diaz might have a chance. Now get out of the way. So good job there, good decision by number 10, Xavier Diaz, to let that get into the end zone. Again, touchbacks on punts aren't always a concern at the high school level, but Verdinelli has a leg on him. Yeah,
I mean that's a great punt, and it's unfortunate for Verdinelli that it bounced into the end zone because, but with the leg that he has, he nearly outkicked his coverage. I mean, there was nobody but Diaz within probably 15, 20 yards of that ball initially. So good job by Diaz making the smart decision and letting that go. And now the Red Tornadoes with a lot of time here. No need to press on the offensive side of the ball. You just got to put a drive together.
7:32 remaining. They trail by 5. Spears quick out to Belichick. First completion of the drive, out to about the 25. Now, Dan, I don't mean to get ahead of myself here, but I've been thinking about this for 2 quarters now. See, I can't even speculate here as they hand it to Blessing off the right side, and he has a Red Tornado first down.
Nice run there by Blessing.
If the Red Tornadoes score here,
yes,
given the ability of Lopez on the Black Panther side,
yeah,
are you going for 2?
I mean, it's a
incomplete. Spears trying to get that quick out to Belichick.
Yeah.
2nd and 10.
It's a question that needs to be considered. It's something that definitely needs to be considered by Coach Dara. But again, I mean, do you rely on your defense one more time to answer the call if that does come down to that position?
We got to get there first, right? 68 yards away. Spears under pressure. He rolls out. He floats it to Schultz. A great job by Schultz. And we have to talk about this. When Spears moves, Schultz breaks off his route and gets to an open spot where Spears can see him.
Jim, I don't know who do you see that from a lot in the NFL, but Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. I mean, that's
yeah.
You know, Schultz is Spears' Travis Kelce. He's his safety net.
Got him again. Short gain there. Out to, say, the 48-yard line, so we gain of about 3, 2nd and 7. And again, the Red Tornadoes up on the ball. Now it's that quick out to Diaz, and Diaz has a little bit of space finally, lowers the shoulder, but the Panthers have done such a good job of bottling him up where he hasn't caught the ball in space a whole lot tonight.
You're right, Jim, and I think that was number 18 coming from a safety spot. That's Chase Lytle. I think he did a really good job of limiting that gain by Diaz.
3rd in the yard. It's Bailey, and I don't know if he got there.
No, I don't think he did, Jim.
Ball's going to be at the 42-yard line. That's bumps 55. Logan Erb down. Who will be out for, at the very least, this pivotal 4th down play.
Yeah, and I mean you know, we talked about it late in the third quarter there. No bigger play than that fourth down that the Red Tornadoes were able to stop the Black Panthers on. I think, and you said it right, up to this point in the game, because I think now this is the biggest play, at least I mean, for both sides of the ball here. If you're the Black Panthers, I mean, you get to breathe a sigh of relief if you get the stop. And if you're the Red Tornadoes, you have to really start pressing. You got to start ripping at the football, all those things with the capability that they have running the football. But we'll see here.
Mount Carmel Athletic Director Greg Sakavage out there, and he's not super happy with the head official right now.
No, he's
not.
not.
Curious to see what's going on here, but so the ball is resting at the Black Panther 42-yard line, and 42 has been the number of choice tonight. As we want to thank our sponsor, Salon 42, for everything they do in keeping us live and up and running. You know, again, WKMC TV is a student-run TV studio, so the sights and sounds that you get to enjoy tonight and going forward are courtesy of students.
Yeah, and I think we'll see here. This again, Jim, just a pivotal fourth down play here for the Red Tornadoes. We'll see them go back to Old Faithful here, the shotgun double wing, to try and convert this.
And Spears is going to keep it himself. And now the initial push is going to have the first down. It looks like they got him at the 40.
I do believe so, Jim.
With the initial push, we'll wait for the signal. And there it is. So first down, Red Tornadoes on a huge play and a great effort by Spears. And I can't see who went in there at the center spot, Dan.
I know normally it's 66, Gavin Demko, but we have to get a look here.
Now Spears takes it, he rolls to his left, and he flips it out there. And Schultz, did you get a flag there for pass interference? Nope, not on that one. Okay, it'll be 2nd and 10, and you're right, it is Demko. So give Demko credit for that fourth down snap, coming in cold, under pressure, and delivers a great snap.
Yeah, it was a great job. But again, you know, the Red Tornadoes against Spears, going back to Schultz here, like, you know, I talked about it, it's kind of the safety net. Defender draped all over him.
And they give it to Diaz, and Diaz has a little bit of space. And another Red Tornado first down, and you could almost feel that those guys in the white jerseys are starting to sense that there might be a big play out there, Dan.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Jim.
And it's Diaz again.
But credit to the Black Panthers, Jim.
They just shut it down.
They did.
And it'll get out to about the 26, so that'll be a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. We're now under 5 minutes left in this one. The Red Tornadoes still trail by a score. And this time it's Blessing. Puts his hand down to stay on his feet. We'll bring up 3rd and, what do you say? They're going to say about the 22. So maybe 3rd and 4.
Man, he got tripped up in the backfield. I think that was number 53. Maybe I was wrong, 63. Oh.
And the Red Tornadoes pull out the hard count for the first time tonight, and they'll get the 5 yards that should be able to keep the drive moving.
That's humongous for the Red Tornadoes there. You know, we talked about it earlier. We thought they were going to use it on that 4th and short that they got stopped, and they didn't. They decided to go quick snap, and I think that's what setting it up may have been what made this work here for the Red Tornadoes.
And now Coach Zettelmoyer, again, understanding kind of the possible change in momentum there. And Dan, you've made this point before. That's almost like a basketball timeout, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You want to stop the momentum. You know, you get in basketball. You know, teams go on a run, and they're moving quick. They're in a rhythm, and that's what the Red Tornado offense is doing right now. They're in a rhythm. And this timeout's not only to get his defensive blow, they've been on the field for a while now, but just try to throw that rhythm off for the Red Tornadoes. They like going quick. They like running the hurry up. Everybody take a breather. Let's reassess things, and let's see if the Black Panthers can get a stop here, and if the Red Tornadoes can continue this drive and put some points on the board.
And Herb not yet back in there, so Demko continues at center. and it's Blessing up the middle, and there's nowhere to go. That Panther defense is stout.
Yeah, I mean, such a tough sledding up the middle for the Red Tornadoes. I mean, now it's going to be a 2nd and long, and now getting closer deeper into the red zone here is going to be harder for the Red Tornadoes to throw the ball as well.
And Diaz takes it upfield, only a few yards there. So again, it's going to be 3rd and 5.
Yeah.
See if they go to the hard count again, Dan.
Yeah, it worked for him once.
3rd down.
And they tried it.
Yep.
Panthers hold strong. Spears sends Blessing in motion. They'll pitch to him. They had trouble with that play earlier. Blessing's in. And he's in the end zone, but there's a flag.
There is a flag.
And that's likely in the area of offensive holding.
Yeah. You don't like seeing those flags along the line of scrimmage. It is in the area of offensive holding. And I think.
And it's in the area of offensive holding because it is offensive holding.
So that's going to turn a 3rd and 5 into a 3rd and 15, Jim, after the Red Tornadoes put the ball in the end zone on a great Blessing run.
And you heard, I should say, the Milton faithful erupt at that penalty call.
Yeah.
Understanding kind of what it means. But if there's any consolation here, Dan, it's as you said before, you got a little more room to work with here.
Yeah.
And I think the connection from Spears to Schultz has been heating up.
Yeah, I agree.
So on 3rd and 15, be curious to see with the ball on the right hash if Spears rolls to his left.
Don't forget about number 10 in the slot over there either.
Oh my goodness. And that was blown up from the beginning. Spears struggled with the handoff, with the snap. They had a hard time whether it was a handoff to Blessing or an option or a play fake. And he did his best to get the ball out, but they were fortunate it was just incomplete and not intercepted.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, Jim, now with 3:15 left, I mean, this is the play of the game here for the Red Tornadoes. I mean, Coach Dara does have all 3 of his timeouts remaining, so this isn't the end all be all, but this is a humongous play.
Ball on the 22. Spears goes back and he's got one ball, and it's Schultz. And Schultz had his jersey pulled.
Schultz is held in the end zone.
And there is no flag.
Wow.
There is no flag. That was as obvious of a jersey pull as you're going to see, and there's no flag on that one.
What? And I mean, the Red Tornadoes drive is derailed by an offensive holding call and a missed defensive holding call. So, I mean, what? And again, 3:09 left to play. This game is far from over. Coach Dara has all 3 of his timeouts. So one more time, the Red Tornadoes call on their defense.
And if you're at home, go back and watch that one again. But as it stands, 1st and 10 Panthers. They have the ball at their own 22, 3:09 left. They lead the Red Tornadoes 12-7. And it's Doyle off the left side, and he's going to have a good gain on first over across the 25.
Yeah, Jim, I mean, when
and there's a Panther down.
Yeah.
With the ball at the 27. That was a gain of 5.
Yeah, and I was going to say, you know, when if you're Coach Dara, do you start using your timeouts, Jim? You wait until it gets under 2 minutes. I mean, there's no 2-minute warning here in high school, so that you don't get a clock stoppage for that. So if you're Coach Dara, when do you start using those timeouts? And that's Doyle down. That's tough for the Black Panthers. But he's up and he's hopping off the field. He's poised to get back out there quickly, I'm sure, after a nice gain.
So I'd be curious to see if they bring Fisher in motion and hand him the football, or if Bastian keeps it himself.
I'm thinking a Bastian keeper here. I think that might be Fisher in the backfield with him.
They're going to hand it off. And I don't think it's Fisher. I think it's actually, it was Canelo again. And the Red Tornadoes are going to take their first timeout.
Third down.
Yeah, and Jim, the only I mean, this is huge here for the Red Tornadoes. You think this late in the game, you got just over 2.5 minutes to go. One first down here for the Black Panthers could spell the end. So we'll have to see what the Black Panthers opt to do here on a pivotal third down play.
Well, and again, while the decision may end up being moot if they pick up the third down, if they get half of it, what do you do on fourth, right?
yeah, it's such a tough decision.
Bastion keeps it himself off the left side, and he's not going to get it. Not on third down. The Red Tornado defense holds strong.
He's going to be close, though, Jim. Oh, and
Now there's a late flag, and if that's
could,
against the Red Tornadoes, that's going to be curtains here in Milton.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the call is. That was very late, well after the play.
And it's hard because I don't see any reaction on either side.
No, and there is silence in this stadium right now, awaiting this call.
I have a hard time envisioning this not being against the Red Tornadoes.
Oh. So he got the first down.
Dead ball, unnecessary. Okay, so because it's a dead ball foul.
So it's still going to be a first down for the Panthers.
Right. Which, in a lot of cases, I won't say it makes the penalty moot, but it takes the sting away a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely does, and I think that's why after the first down was signaled, you kind of heard the sigh of relief here from the Milton sideline.
So 2:25 left. It's 1st and 10 for the Panthers. The ball is back on their 17. They lead the Red Tornadoes 12-7 here at Alumni Stadium.
And that clock is running, Jim.
Winding down. Bastion to Doyle. Doyle will be stood up and stopped for short gain, if any.
And the clock stopped immediately, so that's going to be a Red Tornado timeout.
And again, the down and distance is going to be less of a concern here for the Red Tornadoes than that clock.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's always the case, unfortunately, for the Red Tornadoes. That's, when you get this late in the game, that's what you start. You're not only fighting against the other team, but you're fighting against the clock, not being in the driver's seat here.
And again, this has been such an exciting game. There hasn't been a whole lot of space to get into too much else, but let's not forget, this Milton team went 9-2 last season.
Yeah, they were an impressive team.
And a lot of these guys are back. So this is a team that knows how to win. They know how to finish games. They know how to compete. And I think you're seeing all of that on display tonight in what's a really just kind of gritty, grinded-out contest.
Absolutely. This has been an in-the-trenches game for sure. Defensive. This is old-school football.
2nd and 10, 2:01 left here. It's Doyle again. And he gets through the initial wave and does a good job putting two hands on that football as the Red Tornadoes try to rip at it. He'll be stopped at about the 23-yard line, and the Red Tornadoes use their final timeout of the night. 1:54 left. So now you do some math here, Dan. You figure you got a 25-second play clock, excuse me.
Yeah.
So the Panthers will snap the ball with 1:54. Let's say the play takes 6 seconds.
Okay.
Assuming they don't pick up the first down, mind you. So you're down to 1:48. If you're Coach Zettelmoyer, do you use your final timeout to milk every single second out of that clock?
I think use your final timeout or take the delay of game penalty. Either way.
So you figure you're not at that point. You're snapping it with under 1:30 till the punt's wrapped up. You're maybe 1:20.
Yeah. And with Vernucci, Verdinelli, I'm sorry, he's hang time 4 or 5 seconds at least.
It's Doyle, and put the calculators away. All the clock math is moot at this point.
Wow.
As a huge run from Doyle, who's been the guy all night long.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to put the Panthers in a position where they can just run out the clock and get out of here at 3-1.
Yeah, I mean Doyle, you're right. He's been the guy all game, and I mean, he's been the workhorse. You got to give credit to that offensive line in front of him. But what an impressive showing from Doyle, from the Milton Black Panther defense, from the Milton Black Panther offensive line. I mean, it's been a complete game here for the Black Panthers.
And they'll take a step back and take a knee. And again, we got a couple more of those we got to work through here. So again, as the clock winds down here, I want to once again thank Salon 42 for their sponsorship of tonight's broadcast up here in Milton.
Yeah, I mean it's been a game for the ages here. I mean this has been one of the better games. You know, a close game, grinded out. You know, you talked about that old school style game. And that's going to do it, Jim.
So the Panthers aren't going to have to snap the ball again. And you look at the excitement, and let me tell you why. This is the 14th time these teams have played since 1908. Coming into tonight, the Milton Black Panthers were 0-13. For the first time in school history, they've defeated the Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes, and they did so in dominating fashion from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah.
The clock hits 0. It's official. The Panthers 12, the Red Tornadoes 7.
Yeah, and Jim, I mean, we'll have to take a look at the final stats from Jose. But you talked about this Red Tornado offense averaging 440 yards per game coming into tonight, and then they run into this Milton Black Panther defense, and I mean, realistically, they might not be north of 200 tonight. I mean, if that. It's just been, it was an impressive showing by both teams' defense, but unfortunately the Black Panthers just end up being able to get that one more score across there in the first half. And I mean, a shutout by both defenses in the second half. It's been an impressive game.
Well, and I think it's fair, and I'm going to cite our friends at the news item. If you look at the Fearless Forecasters in the news item, it's fair to say nobody gave Milton a chance tonight.
Right.
Across the board, Mount Carmel was the choice to win.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't matter. They don't get the news item up here, right? So
right.
the Milton faithful came out to support their team, and it was a fantastic performance of the kids in orange. And I think what's facing the Red Tornadoes now is a long ride home and a lot of questions to answer.
Yeah. I mean, you saw the Red Tornadoes later on in the game dealing with some injuries. So they have to get those addressed. You want everybody healthy. They also have to come back, and they're home again next week, and it's homecoming. So they're going to have to answer some questions on the offensive side of the ball. The defense is right where they need to be, I think. If you're giving up 12 points,
sure,
usually you feel pretty confident that your team's going to get a victory. So a lot of questions to answer on the offensive side of the ball, and I know the coaching staff for the Red Tornadoes is going to address all those concerns this week as we wait to see. And here we go. I've got the final stats here, so the final tally. So the Red Tornadoes, 41 rushing attempts for 143 yards, 14 of 27 passing for 86 yards.
Okay, so just over 200.
Yeah, just north of 200 there. And on the other side of the ball here for the Milton Black Panthers, 46 rushing attempts for 166 yards, 3 of 9 passing for 62 yards. So, I mean, you see the scoreboard, one score difference. That shows on the stat sheet as well, but again, it was just one score separated this game, and the wherewithal for that Milton Black Panther team to hold this high-powered Red Tornado offense to just north of 200 yards and 7 points. It's impressive.
Terrific job by the Panthers. I think it's about time that Dan and I go ahead and get out of here. I'm Jim Lesko.
And I'm Dan Lesko.
For Jose Gonzalo, this has been a WKMC TV broadcast sponsored by Salon 42 that saw the Milton Black Panthers defeat the Red Tornadoes 12-7. We thank you for spending your night with us here, and we'll hope you do the same next week as the Red Tornadoes head back to the Silver Bowl to take on the Bloomsburg Panthers. Have a great night. See you next week.